for joining us, Carl, on the latest VIP YouTube interview. I understand you're back in Manchester training.
Yeah, I arrived in here on Monday. Had to get the boat. There's no flights from Belfast to Liverpool or Manchester yet, so I had to get the overnight boat. Me and Big Stevie Ward from Belfast to Birkenhead, 9 hours. We got a cabin though, so we just went to sleep. But it's a bit of a camel hike to get here.
And so, what did you hear now? You understand you're going to fight August time in Belfast?
No, so they're telling me end of July, early August for a fight. I don't think it's going to be in Belfast. I think Frank is talking about shows on the BT studios. I think it may be on one of them. So I really don't know.
Yeah, I just saw Belfast written somewhere the other day. But I know Frank's doing, I think he started mid-July in the BT studios.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to be on one of them bills. What I have said, and I've been promised that I'll get out before mid-August because I have a holiday booked, and I want to go on it. I couldn't really say if we're allowed to go on it. That is, I think we will be, but I couldn't say to the kids that after all this lockdown that we're not going on holiday now because I'm fighting. You know what I mean? So I've made them promise to me that I get out before mid-August.
What's the situation with the Herring fight? Is that going to be somewhere towards the end of the year, possibly when perhaps people can come and watch fights?
Yeah, well, that's what they're saying. Yeah, but towards the end of the year, early next year. So yeah, I'm in the know as much as you, Steve. Like no one really knows what's going on. So I'd be hopeful that we can do it before the end of the year. Obviously, both of us have to win our next fights. We can't overlook that, but I think we will. And then we can fight each other. It's good that he's still talking about me and he still wants to fight me. So yeah, that's one I'm excited about.
It says a lot about your name, doesn't it? Particularly in America, that the champions want you to come up and face them, even though you haven't got a world title at the moment.
Yeah, of course it does, and I think it's more to do with what I have done in the sport so far, and it gives me an opportunity, and it's great to have linked up with Top Rank as well at the minute. Like after a defeat to Josh Warrington, which hurt me, bad. Didn't really know what was going to come after that, but Top Rank came to the table with an amazing deal, and the potential for me to become a 3-weight world champion was too much to turn down.
I mean, it's amazing that just 18 months ago, you must have woke up on that Sunday morning just before Christmas and wondered where it was all going or if it was going to happen for you again. Here you are 18 months later, a couple of fights down the line, you're back and champions are calling you.
No, absolutely. I didn't know what I kind of after the Josh fight for a while. I was in my head. I was retiring. You know what I mean? I thought it was too much of a brutal fight, but I started to think about it, and even before Top Rank came to the table, and I just thought I don't want to go out on a fight like that. I know I'm better than that. I know I'm better than that performance. And I still feel like I can do something in this game. So, and I love it still. I still love it. I'm enjoying myself with the boys, Jamie and Nigel and stuff in the gym. And I want this, you know what I mean? I think in that fight, talking to Lee Hogan about it today, and the fight with Warrington was brutal, and he won pretty convincingly. Someone in my position who's done a hell of a lot already in the sport could have easily just packed it in and quit, but not me. I want more. I'm enjoying it, and I want to keep going.
You're enjoying it. How many more brutal fights have you got left in that body of yours?
I hope I don't have another brutal fight. To be honest, they take something away from everybody. Fights like that. If you're having them too often, it can't be good for anybody. So, I'm hoping that I don't have another fight like the Josh Warrington one ever again.
Yeah, I mean,
but I loved it. I loved the fight in the moment. Like I don't know, just a real like macho thing. Like I stayed in there and I showed that I had balls, and I showed that I'm not a quitter. Although I had a horrible, especially the first 3 rounds were horrible for me, but I stayed in there, and I like the fight. I like, I don't know, I just feel, I don't know, it's a strange one, it's hard to describe.
I mean, what's it like when you've had that shelling for 3 rounds, and then what is it you've got mentally? We know physically you can absorb it, mentally to come back from that, and in the second of the half, although I don't think anyone argues the decision, the second half of the fight, there weren't a lot between you.
No, well, that's the thing. So after the first 3 rounds, which he won by a mile, I came back and I won a few rounds in the middle. But I think just because of the first 3 rounds and how I was, I couldn't get it back. And Josh is just like a Duracell bunny. He's full of energy. He's full of beans. I done well to stay in the fight, I think. I remember at a point thinking in the fight, just don't get stopped. Like that was in my head, don't get stopped. And that wasn't me just thinking about surviving. I was still trying to win, but I just didn't want to get stopped.
Yeah. What about the Herring fight? What do you expect? How do you when you play that in your mind? How do you see that going?
Well, it's a difficult fight, and I think that it's a tough fight. It's a very tough fight. Herring's a good fighter, and I think the couple of things that are going to be troubling is his height and his size. He's a big guy. He's a southpaw as well, but I think mentally he's very strong. Very strong character, mentally that is. But there is no such thing as a perfect fighter, although it's going to bring its own problems, just the sheer physicality. There's ways to beat him, and that's not just going head first. People think I have to just go and fight him and get him involved in a dog fight. I think that my feet are faster than his. I think that my hands are faster than his, and I think that he can be outfought and he can be outboxed as well. So there's different ways to skin a cat, and I think I can win the fight and become a 3-weight world champion.
If you win that fight and become a 3-weight world champion, would you drop down or back to featherweight to fight maybe Josh in a rematch, or give Josh the chance to come up to super feather? What would you think would be best for you after that?
Well, I think if I win a super featherweight title, I think Josh would probably want to come up. Give him a chance to become a 2-weight world champion. Give me a chance to avenge a defeat. So that would be a huge fight. Yeah, of course I'd be interested in that fight, but I'd rather do it at super feather than feather.
Yeah, I mean, you and Josh, you're 2 of a kind. You both love fighting. You both, got a young family. Have you kept any sort of touch since that night?
Have I said again? Sorry, Steve.
You're both similar types of people. Young families. You both love fighting. Have you kept in touch at all since that night, or do you speak occasionally?
I sent each other a few messages and stuff over social media. I met him at the John O'Carroll Quake fight, and we had a good chat. I've met his dad in Belfast as well at an MTK show. And yeah, we have a respect for each other, me and Josh. I think you always get a respect for someone after you've fought them, and he's a good guy. And I hope he gets a unification fight. Yeah, he's a very good fighter, and probably someone that he had an amazing year. Selby, myself, Kit Galahad. That's 3 cracking wins. He still probably doesn't get the credit that he deserves. But I think a unification fight, and people would maybe realise how good a fighter he is.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking earlier about the top rank suddenly coming in for you when you didn't know where things were going. Well, what's he like to deal with, Bob Arum, for someone who's 87?
No, he's okay. He's sound, nice guy. For an 87-year-old, he's absolutely very, very switched on. And I spoke to him on the phone about the Herring fight, and he asked me after the Taylor McCreary fight, because it was at a catchweight, what do you want to do? Do you want to go back? Do you want to stay at featherweight, or do you want to go at super featherweight and fight Herring? And I said, the Herring fight. And he says, okay, we'll do it. So that was as simple as that, really. And I think the date penciled in for the Herring fight was the 13th of June, so it's coming up. obviously the coronavirus is balls that up for me. But I think Bob's a man of his word. I think the fight will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. With hindsight, I know you say it balls things up for you, a lot of fighters, but given that you had some injuries after that McCreary fight, could the longer layoff even done you a bit more good in the long run?
Well, I've been asked that. I don't think so, because my hands were fine after. So I had the operation and I was back training, back hitting the pads. The surgeon, Dr. Michael Eames, who looked after me, was very happy with how the operations went. So I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I would have been good to go, but I think that one thing, people keep talking about my age and where I am in this sport, but Jamel's almost 2 years older than me. So I'd say the long layoff is probably affecting him a little bit more than me. So it may have actually benefited me in a different way.
Yeah. And what's it like being back in the gym this week with all those lunatics in there? Because, there's lunatics aplenty in that gym, especially with Nigel.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. Look, I love the place, and I was looking. I really enjoyed the time at home with the kids, and it's probably the longest I've spent at home with them since I turned professional, and a one big block. And my wife as well, obviously. And it was good to get me a kind of a look into the future to see what it's going to be like when I retire at whatever point that may be. And it was all good. There was no real fights. We were all living well. No one was annoying each other, apart from me and my son. Me and him have this, it's mental. So he's 5 and he thinks he runs the house. So we have wars, me and him, all the time. So I think that's a lot of it's to do with me being away all the time. He thinks he's the boss. And
Christy made sure you got on that boat, though.
Yeah, no, well, it was kind of like, the absence makes a heart grow fonder, and it's true. It's true. I'm missing them. Like, I'm really missing them.
What's it been like for the social distancing in the gym?
We've been trying our best.
For the first time in that environment where you're watching where you sit, where you train.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're boxers, so there's no sparring yet. But how do you social distance from someone who's trying to take you on the pads? Or it's hard, but we're staying on top of hygiene. There's disinfectant, antibacterial wipes in the gym to wipe down all your equipment to use. We have spray to use. We're all cleaning our hands and stuff, and it's important to stay on top of the hygiene. But we're abiding by the guidelines, but it's probably not that easy to keep 2 meters from each other at all times.
It's impossible when you're doing pads. You just can't be done.
Yeah.
You mentioned that when you do eventually retire, have you had any thoughts what you'll do? Will you stay in boxing, or will you be one of these guys who just walks away and we never hear from again?
No, well, I like the punditry stuff. I've got a few jobs doing that recently. I enjoy it. I get decent feedback when I do it as well. I've got the podcast that I've been doing, which will be coming back at some point soon. I love boxing. Like, it's all I know, really, so I kind of have to stay in it. I wouldn't coaching. I spent too much time away from my family. Coaching, like Jamie Moore, for example, has, I don't know off the top of my head, maybe 8 professional fighters. So he's just on a conveyor belt of like camps for people. Once one guy's camp's over, someone else is starting. He never has time off. So coaching is not my thing at all.
Yeah. So just going back to when you do make your return at one of these BT studio shows, any idea on, will it be a British opponent because of the the quarantine rules at the moment? Because usually if that fight's going to be in say 7 weeks' time, you're an elite fighter. Usually 7 weeks out, you'll know who you're fighting.
Yeah, of course. So I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. I think promoters are hoping that Europeans can come in as well by that time. But who knows what's happening? The landscape's changing almost daily. So I genuinely don't have a clue as to who I'm fighting.
Well, thanks for that today, Carl. Really kind of you to join us on the VIP YouTube channel.
Cheers, Steve. All the best, mate.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.